Welcome back to Sara Gonzales, Unfiltered. It brings me no pleasure to go through what I'm about to go through with you. Actually, it's rather infuriating that this thing keeps happening. Tragedy keeps happening. Again, a deranged trans person was, instead of being given actual medical mental help for their condition, they were instead glorified and enabled and told that you actually could change your gender and potentially pumped full of mind-altering drugs, and then goes on to carry out another mass shooting. This time it happened in a remote part of British Columbia in Canada called Tumbler Ridge. This was a school shooting. 9 people were killed, 7 either at the school or in transport to the hospital. And then they said 2 at a home nearby. 25 people wounded. And the suspected gunman, I have to say alleged, but the dude, also dead from a self-inflicted gunshot. So then committed, I don't know what is the YouTube friendly way to say that. I think you get like dinged if you say that word, but he offed himself. Now, one thing as we navigate through this is just terrible, like just awful, awful, awful. My heart goes out to the family, the parents of these children, but it's rather infuriating as parents are having to deal with the loss of their children, that people, as members of the public, specifically the Canadians who potentially are affected by this and they're trying to find out answers, you can't nail down the identity of the suspect. You can't even nail down like what gender this person was. And that's when you immediately know, right? Like when you are asking these questions and you have members of the police force, law enforcement, government officials who are very careful that they don't use any pronouns, and you're like, all right, I already know what this is. I already know what this is, because you don't want to admit that the thing that we keep saying is happening is happening. So you got to be real careful how to navigate, how you speak about the person. You don't want everyone to know, a trans person committed another mass shooting. Add it to the entire bucket of times where trans people have committed mass shootings because there's something going on up here that you're not addressing. And so the media, the first key to this is when the media just started asking police. They were having a press conference trying to give details, and they were asking about the death toll numbers. The police, you'll notice a very interesting expression was used when talking about this guy.
That includes the deceased gun person.
Oh, hold on. Never heard that before. You probably haven't either. You probably have never heard law enforcement say, can we hear that one more time, please?
That includes the deceased gun person.
The deceased gun person. I mean, you wouldn't want to offend a dead murderer by dead naming him. Like that's what these people are concerned about in the aftermath of this type of massacre. They don't want to offend the dead murderer. Have to say gun person. You don't want to say gunman or gun woman. We don't know which one we should say. So we're just going to say gun person. Now, it got weirder than that because there was an alert sent out that the person who was involved in this mass shooting was a person in a dress. A person in a dress with brown hair was what they said. And it took a very, very long time for anyone to confirm the identity. Police don't want to do it. It's just a gun person. You fill in your own holes there. What does it matter? At this point, they're Hillary Clinton on the Benghazi hearing. At this point, what difference does it make? Now, the liberal media, being the liberal media, they just ran with the dress narrative. It's a female identified as a suspect. It's a female suspect. 10 dead, including female suspect. It must be a female. Oh, it's a female. Actually, The lie detector has determined that was a lie. Multiple outlets in Canada have confirmed that this is transgender suspect Jesse Strang. This is the Tumbler Ridge shooter. They spoke to a family member, Juno News did, and they confirmed it. The Daily Mail has now confirmed it. As of the time of this taping, I'm sure many other outlets have confirmed it. And so now we know it's Jesse Strang. Jesse Strang, this, I think we have some pictures of, yeah. Oh, great. So that's what you need is a mentally ill person holding a giant weapon. That always ends well, right? Especially when you pump substances into that person that may cause, I mean, we're basically experimenting with an entire generation with these drugs, right? So yeah, that's not alarming at all. Also not alarming at all is some Reddit posts that this guy posted, several years ago. This is like 3 years ago. How do I stop comparing myself to fictional characters? And this is in the male to female transitioning Reddit community. So I'm trans, male to female. I'm pre-HRT, 15 years old, and I've been viewing a lot of anime-related content recently. Was never into it before. The characters are always so cute. I don't want to be 2D or anything like the characters themselves, but when it comes to their body shape and stuff, I often find myself comparing their semi-unrealistic, yet still physically possible shape, specifically when it comes to height, BMI, and obviously their chesticles. I'm super skinny, so that sometimes makes me feel kind of good, but I'm pre-HRT and my expectations are minimal for chest growth, and I'm 6 feet tall. Why can't I be petite and small? 'Cause you're a dude. It's like, 'cause you're a dude, that's why. Side note, if you know of anywhere I should go to get into watching anime, that'd be nice. Never watched it before. Now, this is the craziest thing is that this post was dug up again because Matt Walsh actually posted this on his Twitter account 3 years ago as an example of how anime is brainwashing kids. And he said, hate to say I told you so. And he was like called out for it because he posted someone's, account. Oh, this is harassment because he posted a screenshot of what someone said on Reddit. And then, of course, he responded to that and was like, I once again hate to say I told you so. That anime is destroying children and that enabling someone's delusion in the trans world is going to continue to lead to mass shooters. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out, guys. And I get called all sorts of names. I get called a transphobe. I get called a homophobe. I get called like all the phobes. Apparently I am. And the fact of the matter is, the people who are willing to stand up and say, you guys are actually harming these children. We are miles away from being any sort of phobic. I'm not transphobic. I pity these people who are told these things. These delusions are enabled by these mental health professionals who are actually mentally ill themselves. They're being pushed into this. Their parents are being told, as with the case of my friend Chloe Cole, their parents are being told, if you don't actually affirm this, they're going to kill themselves. They're going to off themselves. And you're going to be the cause of that, mom and dad. Do you want a child that's alive, living as a different sex and gender, or do you want a dead child? I mean, the moment that we as a society stop enabling that, stop glorifying that, stop telling people they can be something that they're never going to be. It's never going to live up to their expectations. They're always going to be depressed. They're always going to have problems. They're always going to be insecure because you're not treating the actual issue. If we can just start as a society to treat these people more humanely, other people's children could maybe, have a chance at not dying in one of these mass shootings with trans people involved or non-binary. I'm sorry. There were a couple that are non-binary. Guys, this doesn't have to be this way. Parents shouldn't have to worry. Parents should never have to worry that they send their children to school and then they could potentially get murdered. But this is such an easy thing to fix. How many more children have to die before we finally decide that this experimentation that you're doing with an entire generation is a bad idea? This is just one in a long list now of these shootings. It's Denver, Aberdeen, Nashville, Iowa, Minneapolis, Colorado Springs, and now this place in Canada. It enrages me because it doesn't have to, like, this is a choice that society is making, a choice in which I have never had a part of. And I get called all of the insults, all of the names, because I refuse to stand by and watch these people just get harmed, get pushed into this lifestyle that is not good for literally anybody. It's not good for the people around them. Because now, other people's children who had nothing to do with it are with God. And it doesn't have to be this way. All right, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Smash the like button and comment. It'll help us out in the algorithm, which we all know is stacked against us. And I want to thank our sponsor. I love this sponsor, BetterWild. So if you're a dog owner, I don't know if you, like, my dog has really bad allergies. She has like this, we call them hot spots, right? Like she has these hot spots and we were like, what is happening? We changed her food. We couldn't figure it out. And turns out they're actually allergies. People don't realize about 90% of a dog's immune system lives in the gut. So when bad bacteria takes over, the immune system can become overactive and they start to lick their paws all the time, or they get hot spots, or, all of those weird head shaking, recurring digestion issues. That's where a supplement like BetterWild Allergy Relief Soft Chews comes in, because instead of just masking the symptoms, it actually supports your dog's allergy defense system by strengthening digestion and gut health. And they use Ancestral Advantage Wolf Probiotics. So it's actually derived from your dog's ancestor, the wolf, to help promote a healthier balance of good bacteria in the gut. It is derived from kimchi, which sounds weird, but I got to tell you, my Doberman loves it. She sees me get out the little container and she's like at my feet right there, wagging her little nub. She loves it, and I know that I am helping her with her allergies. So it's a win-win. Right now, BetterWild is offering our listeners up to 40% off your order at BetterWild.com/Sara. By the way, they've got digestive toppers that you can put that I use as well. They've also got a multivitamin. They've also got joint support, which I use for my Great Pyrenees, that girl's knees are busted, but she feels better thanks to BetterWild. BetterWild.com/Sara. Save up to 40% off over at BetterWild.com/Sara. With regard to our H-1B investigation, I am so excited to share what we are uncovering. In the meantime, keep the tips coming. And I say this knowing that I guess I'm a glutton for like punishing myself and never having any free time, because it's another full-time job just going through all of these emails. But email us if you have any tips. SaraTips@blazemedia.com. Guys, I love you, but please just keep them to actual tips and not just like, thanks, great job. Like, I am drowning in these tips and I want to make sure that I don't miss actual tips, but we have been finding some very curious information. We've got one video in edit that we're just waiting to get done and release, and we'll get it out to you guys as soon as we can. But with regard to this subject, it's something that obviously everyone is concerned about, everyone is talking about, and I don't want to leave it alone. And so one of the arguments that you often hear about getting rid of H-1B visas is that it allows companies to import cheap labor. Now, on the surface, that's not supposed to be the case, right? Like, the system is supposed to only bring people who the employer can agree would pay a prevailing wage. And so the prevailing wage would be like the minimum that a foreign worker can be paid. It's set by the Department of Labor. Now, I will say, number one, I don't believe there's a mechanism to double check that pay is happening, which is where all of the fraud is taking place most of the time. But it turns out those protections, even with those protections set as they are not nearly good enough because it hasn't kept up with the job market. And the foreign worker rate is still under what American workers usually get. And this is not according to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. This is according to a new working paper from the Harvard professor of economics. So don't take my word for it. Take Harvard's word for it. The H-1B wage gap, visa fees, and employer demand. So on average, H-1B workers earn 16% less than comparable natives. H-1B workers earn significantly less than U.S. workers, about 16% less than Americans, and in dollar terms, roughly $25,000 to $30,000 per year on average. Now, employers capture large payroll savings over a 6-year visa term. So the $100,000 visa fee that President Trump enacted, that was the whole argument, right? Is like $100,000. That's going to prevent all of these low-paying jobs, all of these. It's going to slow everything down. That's actually, according to this, not going to slow down companies because after 4 years, they've made their money back. So the companies are the ones who are investing in this, and they're going to make their money back because they're still paying less for these people to come in because they're still making less than the American worker. So is this actually incentivizing these employers to not go for the H-1B? This study says no. Harvard says no. The study even says that the fee could go way up without slowing them down. They said that the revenue maximizing fee is between $118,000 and $264,000. And that has little or no impact on the number of H-1Bs hired. That is incredible. Incredible how they have figured out how to game the system. How all of these, Amazons and Microsofts and Verizons and these big giant companies of the world who are just worried about their bottom dollar, they're only worried about the profit. They don't live in your neighborhoods. They don't see how this is affecting the average American, the average Texan, in my case. They don't actually, they're all of those CEOs are all in gated communities. And the managers that are doing this are just bringing over their buddies, and typically they're getting a cut of that as well. So the only way to solve this problem in its entirety, to solve the system from being gamed by these employers, and of course by the people who are coming over here knowing that the system is being exploited, but they don't actually care because they're just desperate to be here. The only way to solve this problem is not to implement the fee anymore. The fee isn't going to deter these employers. As Harvard just points out, they're already making the jobs cheaper. They're already making their money back. The only way is to stop the visa altogether. I understand the intention. I understand the point at the inception of the idea, but it's enough. It's already been proven to be taken advantage of, to be exploited. And it turns out, we don't need any more software engineers. We don't need any more, there's, what have I seen? A chef, food service worker. I kid you not. Like the job titles of these, we don't actually need to import any. We've got enough right here. So let's just cut the whole thing off. We don't need it anymore. Now, you'll hear complaints from the left about it. It's actually already begun. They've started wheeling out all of their talking points on H-1Bs and because again, the system is supposed to be for the best and the brightest. It's supposed to be for the best and the brightest. And it's oh no, we won't. What about the doctors? What about the doctors? There was an opinion piece from the Washington Post before they fired all of their staff, which couldn't happen to a more deserving group of people. Texas freezes out good doctors because they paused H-1B visa hiring for public universities, and that hurts United States patients. Oh no. So you're telling me that everyone from, Canada and all of these other places, whenever they have the UK, whenever they have something bad happen to them medically, they want to get to which country? Oh, the United States. Why? Because we're the leading healthcare system in the entire world. We have the greatest healthcare technology in the entire world. And somehow the country who produces the best healthcare system and the cutting edge medical technology in the entire world can't find the best doctors. We can't train anyone. We don't have anyone going through medical school here that we can actually just keep training to be the best and the brightest. No, we have to import them. From where? Yeah, I guess India. It's like, first, if they can afford to pay doctors $500,000, they can afford the visa fees. Second, there are other visa options available for doctors that don't include the H-1B. Because again, I mean, my argument would be, I could make the argument for just stopping a total moratorium on all immigration. I could make that argument. But I'll just play the game, okay? I won't make the argument for stopping all immigration. I will just at this time make the argument, because that's a much longer conversation. This argument is doctors can already come over on several other different types of visas. It doesn't have to be the H-1B. But also, on top of that, let me just give you this. Before you start saying, but we got to have an Indian doctor because they're the best and the brightest, they're way smarter than us. Actually, they're defrauding the system in their home countries. There was this is terrifying, massive India-wide fake degree scam cracked, over 100,000 certificates seized. And so as it turns out, back in December, the police in Kerala, India, arrested 11 people who issued over 100,000 fake university degrees in medicine, nursing, and engineering. So just know, if you're going to that Indian doctor, they might not know their shit at all. They might have actually just paid for a fake degree in medicine, a fake degree in nursing. And hey, you know what? You can go get your well check. I'm going to pass. I'm going to find me a good old fashioned American doctor, and I'm going to pass on the importation of the doctors because now you don't even know if they have a real degree. By the way, this is not limited to just those particular areas and industries. All of the tips that we have coming in, there are so many of them that are like, let me tell you about this place. They have a fake, accreditation scam. They've got fake schools. They've got fake degrees. They are coming over here committing fraud. So now the question is, how many of these people are here with fake degrees who already have established medical practices, who are currently here right now, who have no idea what the they're doing? That's what I would like to find out. USCIS apparently is asleep at the wheel. Is any federal entity, is any organization, is any association going to actually look into this? It's rather alarming to me. Am I being dramatic? It's rather alarming to me that we're importing people who have just faked medical degrees. That's kind of a bad idea, I would just say. Maybe I just have high standards. You guys let me know in the comments. All right. Want to make sure that if you guys have not yet subscribed, you can subscribe to BlazeTV. Support us over at the blazetv.com/Sara. You can use promo code Sara and save $20. That is blazetv.com/Sara. So if you've been following the news, if you're a news junkie like I am, you probably already have heard this. This is the weirdest thing. I woke up this morning and I saw the headlines that the FAA shut down the airspace over El Paso they said it was special security reasons. They had flights completely grounded. That hasn't happened, by the way, since 9/11. And they said it was going to last for 10 days. And then all of a sudden, boop, like that, it reopened. Just wasn't even 24 hours. It just reopened and we were like, whoa, what just happened? Well, it turns out it was because of cartel drones, according to Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. He said the FAA and the Department of War, which again, so freaking cool, acted swiftly to address a cartel drone incursion. The threat has been neutralized and there is no danger to commercial travel in the region. The restrictions have been lifted and normal flights are resuming. Now, it is worth noting that El Paso's airport is right by Biggs Army Airfield, and sources say that the flight ban was driven by military operations from the airfield. They're the ones who are pushing for that. Joining me now to discuss, we have Adam Johnson and Justin Haskins. You guys know Adam as the lectern guy from January 6th. like one of the most iconic pictures ever. But I will mention he is now running for a seat on the Manatee County Commission in Florida. So if you are over in Manatee County, make sure to vote for Adam Johnson and check out his book, Taking a Stand. You can find that at unlicensedfurnituremovers.com. There it is. Yep. Hardcover and softcover, because he just wants you to do you. Okay. Also, journalist and New York Times bestselling author Justin Haskins. He is the author of a new book now, The Next Big Crash. I haven't seen. Yeah, there it is. Guys, I love that you. I feel left out because I'm the only non-author here. I'm the only non-author. I'm going to have to become an author soon. Maybe I know someone who can help me with that. Justin, what is this?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm just saying I might know a guy. What is this new? I know what Adam's book is about. What is your book about, Justin?
My book is about one of the craziest conspiracy theories of all time. I don't even call it a conspiracy theory, conspiracy fact that involves every single American, especially those of you who have investments. What the book shows is that over several decades, there was a conspiracy to take away your property rights so that now you no longer directly own your investments. You think you own them, but you actually do not own them. Big, powerful special interests, centralized ownership of all securities investments, stocks, bonds, retirement accounts, all of that into one gigantic institution that they control. It's now part of the Federal Reserve Bank. And the conspiracy about how this all came about is even crazier. It involves someone who was in the CIA for a very long time. It involves people mysteriously dying. Crazy, crazy stuff. So if people are interested, check out The Next Big Crash. It is an unbelievable story. It took me years to put it together. I'm really excited for people to finally get a chance to check it out.
Are you excited? Because that doesn't sound exciting at all. Like I kind of want to jump off a bridge now hearing that.
But that's the space where I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable in that space.
Yeah. You said CIA and people mysteriously dying, which is kind of redundant.
Yeah, no, I know. It's amazing. It's the best. It's an incredible story. I guarantee if you read the book, The Next Big Crash, you will not be disappointed.
Oh my gosh. Where can they find it? Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon's the best place for it, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, go check out both of these gentlemen's books and check out my book whenever I decide what I should write about and write it. So, okay, were you like me? Did you, Adam, I'll let you chime in first here. Did you check, were you like scanning this morning and you're like, wait, what? There's a 10-day moratorium on flying anything in El Paso airspace? That's a little alarming.
Well, by the time I saw it was already shut down. So the most alarming thing is how we went from 10 days to no days in a matter of a couple of hours. I know that Scheinbaum has been very elusive in trying to make sure that Trump does not engage in military efforts inside of Mexico against the cartels, and that we've labeled them as terrorists. I believe that they are. I believe they're narco-terrorists and they're killing our people. I think they're down 50% for the fentanyl crossing over, which also seems to suggest that they do have a lot more power to stop those things coming over than they have let on. So we'll see what happens. I know Mexico's been flying drones in our country for a long time. I don't think this is a new thing. I think the response is new. And I've also heard it might have something to do with the New Mexico base that they have over there, White Sands, that does some experimental testing on military weapons. So interesting to see what will happen next couple of days on Twitter and what people can unwrap and find out.
Yeah, it's, I mean, listen, we obviously have the technology to go into Venezuela and like within how long was it? It was like 7 minutes or something absurd, like go in and kidnap their president. I'm just saying, like, I guess we have the technology to shoot down drones, but Justin, how concerned are you about this? They're like, 10 days. And then they're like, oh, actually, you're good to go. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I don't think I'd be flying out of El Paso anytime soon.
I don't think so either.
Personally, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Again, I know I set up with the book, and I sound like a crazy conspiracy guy. I guess I am, but
you're on the right show.
I don't believe this story at all.
Yeah,
I don't think any of this makes any sense. You wouldn't. Let's say it is a cartel. It is drones. They're flying around in airspace, and they're worried that this could be some kind of an attack, or they just don't know what it is, and they're worried. You don't announce you're going to shut it down for 10 days. Mm-hmm. You don't do that. And then you sure as heck don't say, it's 10 days. Oh, actually, never mind. It's 5 hours later, and we're all set, and don't worry about it. Like, none of that makes any sense whatsoever. The weapon theory, I think, makes a little bit more sense, but even then, 10 days seems like kind of an overreaction to
Right.
even that. So I don't believe any of this. I have no idea what this is. I have no insider knowledge, but I just know common sense dictates that this just makes no sense whatsoever. And I'm sure we're going to find out more over the coming weeks.
I mean, are we? I hope that we are, because that's where my head kind of goes too. Is like, I don't. First of all, Justin seems to not want to. He doesn't want to wear you shied away from wearing the conspiracy theorist hat, tinfoil hat. I don't. I actually, that's what I just jump straight there. I don't even go to anything reasonable. I just go straight to the conspiracies, and I read this and I'm like, okay, I don't trust this at all. I either. Someone should definitely lose their job over making such a hasty decision to say 10 days nobody can fly, or there's something larger at play here. And as Adam pointed out, Scheinbaum has been pretty disruptive, and President Trump was elected with this grandiose talk of, if Mexico is not going to cooperate with us, if Mexico is not going to get all of this under control, then maybe we go in there and we get this under control. And I'm not saying that would be like ideal, but what I am saying is, like, we can't have the cartel going out there and doing that. Like, we can't, like, we need to tell them, I understand it's like, you're Mexico, but we got to have law and order. You can't be flying into our airspace like that, Adam.
I agree. And also, I mean, if you look at the flight times for these drones, I believe what I read is they were DJIs, which are made in China. I know Florida just banned them completely from any use at any type of county level or city level because they were afraid they were actually tracking and spying on us. But the DJIs have a flight time, I want to say, of 45 minutes. El Paso is about 25 minutes away from the border. So these would have to be taking off pretty close as well. So it shouldn't be that difficult to find where they're coming from. You could probably pinpoint this pretty quickly.
That's a great point, actually. And on top of that, I don't know. What do you think we should be doing with regard to Mexico, Justin? Because I am very interested in Scheinbaum. What were I'm trying to remember it was some sort of inflammatory comments that she made towards Trump not that long ago, just like not wanting to cooperate at all.
Yeah, I think that we're in an extremely difficult situation when it comes to these countries because they've been flouting our authority for a very long time. They're complicit in millions of people breaking the law, including a lot of drug cartels, human trafficking. I mean, we went into Venezuela and we captured the president of Venezuela because we said that he was involved with illegal cartels. But I mean, by that logic, you have a pretty good case against almost every country in Central America and South America, just to varying degrees. And I think with Mexico in particular, if now there's some sort of operation where they're flying drones into our airspace and they're either allowing it to happen because it's the cartels doing it, or they are doing it themselves through I mean, at some point, there's going to have to be a really serious conversation with Scheinbaum and others in Mexico that says you can't do this kind of crap anymore, or else remember what happened in Venezuela? That could happen again. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Let's shut all of this stuff down. But that assumes that this whole theory is true, and I'm completely skeptical that that's what happened. So I don't know what to make out of any of it.
Yeah,
I remember the Chinese weather balloons coming over our country, and I'm pretty sure they also went over a couple of our airspaces, but we didn't shut down the airports for that, did we?
Yes,
okay. So that was point.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the Chinese air balloons, whatever the hell they were, and how Joe Biden was just like, yeah, just let them fly. It's fine. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, like, it's fine. It's China. Oh, we love China. It's totally fine. They paid my son very handsomely. It's fine. But I mean, to your point, Adam, it very much worries me that we're using technology like that made in China at all, because I know that there's that worry here. I realize that these are Mexican drones, but we're using way too much of Chinese technology, Chinese drones, especially with regard to air bases and military bases. Again, what could possibly go wrong there?
Well, I mean, China's not been our best ally, if I could just say that very clearly.
No.
I know they've been working to usurp our country as the communists they are for a very long time, and our education and our financial structures and every turn they possibly can with transing our youth. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So I think anytime we have a chance to kneecap China, and I definitely think they're working with Mexico in many respects, as well as the Russians, as well as Iran. I think it's very important for us to be very committed to stopping any interference at all that they may have in our country.
Totally agree. Okay, so yay or nay, Trump should go in and kidnap Sheinbaum like he did with Venezuela.
You're gonna make me answer this question.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I'll say if they go to Congress and declare war, I'm okay with it. How about that? But they gotta get approval from Congress. I know. I'm a stickler for the rules.
I think we should be patient. We should be patient. The last time Sheinbaum was elected, didn't all of the other opponents get taken out by the cartel? And if she really is shutting down cartel maneuvers over the next 4 years, I'm pretty sure the problem will solve itself next election cycle.
Guys, I think it's cool. I think it's epic. Wait, so Justin, did you not like the Venezuela operation? Did you not like it?
I thought it was a great operation. I just thought they should have gone and gotten approval in accordance with the Constitution. I know. No president has in like 50 years. So I'll preface that. But I do think you should go to Congress and get an act of war declared before going to war with another country. That's my... Yeah, but it's not but it's not a war. We're not warring. We're helping. Sarah. I guarantee that if the Russians had some sort of warrant to capture Donald Trump and they flew into Washington, D.C. and started murdering soldiers on the streets and grabbed Donald Trump and dragged him back to Russia for a kangaroo trial, you would say, well, that's different. They had a warrant. That's not this. That's different. It's the same. It's an act of war. But it was a good thing. It made the world a better place in that sense. I just think you should follow the process and Congress should approve it. That's all. Adam?
My issue is you get Congress involved, you get spending packages to send out $200 billion to a proxy war instead. So I don't know. I think we saved the American people $200 billion and got a bunch of resources to help us with the national debt. Yep. So what else willing to overlook small things.
What small things like kidnapping presidents of other countries?
It's the times we live in these days.
It really is. Oh my gosh. Okay. On that, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit before we go to break here. I just saw that James Vanderbeek from Dawson's Creek died. Did you guys see that?
Really?
Yeah, he was
I did not.
48 and he just died from cancer. So any Dawson's Creek fans out there, did you guys grow up with Dawson's Creek?
I did not. I'm aware of the song, though. The song was fantastic.
Everyone's aware of the song. That's true. I am aware of the song. No, I didn't watch it growing up, but I knew a lot of people who did. It is from my era. It just was not my kind of show. That's all.
Okay. Well, okay. Shots fired at me, I guess. Whatever. So anyway, just that note, if any Dawson's Creek fans are out there, that's really sad. Say a prayer for his family tonight. All right. When we come back, I can't wait to get into this next one. Feels a little like a sitting member of Congress kind of low-key suggested Trump should be executed. I don't know. You guys tell me after the break. We'll be right back. I constantly say there is no floor for the Democrats because they just go lower and lower and lower. And this one is a interesting one for me. Representative Ilhan Omar, who should not be in Congress, by the way. We should not have foreign-born nationals be eligible to be in Congress. I don't care if you're a naturalized citizen. That should not be a thing. Anywho, in the meantime, we've got Somalian Queen Ilhan Omar, who suggested that Trump should be executed after he said that he will pursue Somali fraud cases in Minnesota. First of all, a little extreme. That reaction, a little suspect, a little extreme to me, that President Trump's just like, yeah, if you're the Somalian fraudsters should go down. And instead of a reaction of like, hey, actually, that's reasonable because we shouldn't allow people to come into our country and steal from us. That's crazy. Instead of being reasonable, Ilhan Omar responded with, the leader of the Pedophile Protection Party is trying to deflect attention from his name being in all over the Epstein files, which is stupid in and of itself. At least in Somalia, they execute pedophiles, not elect them. interesting? Isn't it interesting that this woman she seems to like love Somalia. I don't understand why she's here. If Somalia is so great and they're so tough on pedophiles, they execute pedophiles in Somalia. Wow, we're so great. We're so first world. I don't know. Maybe just go back there, Ilhan. Maybe just go back there. You guys seem to think that Somalia is the cream of the crop. You guys seem to, you know what? Let's play, this is one of my favorite clips, actually. Somalians who are here in my country are really keen on Somalia.
I am from Somalia. And Trump said, Somalia is garbage. It's not garbage, it's gold.
It's gold. It's gold. It's gold, you guys. It's gold. So my question is, I don't understand why Ilhan Omar, if she's so keen on where she was from, she's like, actually, we treat pedophiles way worse. Go home, Justin.
Well, also, there's nothing in the Epstein files that suggests that Trump was a pedophile.
That's why I was like, I don't even know which one I want to tackle first here. Because, like, his name was all over the Epstein files. If you're talking about, like, yeah, his name was all over the Epstein files because Epstein hated him because he told the police on him, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, it is so insane on so many levels. This is the political discourse that we have today. Just people lying constantly, saying the craziest things about the lies that they're telling in order to protect widespread corruption. It's
right.
Like at every level. And by the way, you did you mention that she married her brother? I don't know if you brought that part up.
I forgot that part.
There's all that, and she's an open, avowed socialist who basically hates everything about America. I mean, there's just so many things that illustrate why this is the perfect story for our current era.
Sad.
It's and how is it, by the way, that Joe Biden does he fall into this category? Because it seems to me that I remember him having this really infamous clip of him talking about how he loves kids sitting on his lap, playing with his leg hair in the pool. That whole thing.
Uh-huh.
And that happened before he was elected the first time. That's not a sign of pedophilia.
Uh-huh.
That's not even remotely creepy, but just being mentioned in the Epstein. By the way, I'm in the Epstein files. I don't know if I've told you that yet. I'm in the Epstein files somewhere. Yep, that's true. Punxsutawney Phil also in the Epstein files. So I'm in good company. Me, Punxsutawney Phil, Donald Trump, all the winners. Like, this is ridiculous. This whole thing is absurd. And Ilhan Omar is the perfect person to deliver the most absurd message imaginable. I agree with you. She shouldn't be in Congress. Hopefully that changes sometime soon.
Yeah.
But man, and how is this not an insurrection?
That's what I was going to ask. It is exactly what I was going to ask Adam. It's a little insurrection-y talk, is it not?
It absolutely is. But I mean, Princess Bananas and Rice, isn't really the sharpest tool in the shed. And these people that are complaining about being sent back to Somalia that are from Somalia, I've never seen people fight so hard to not be around people that are like them. The whole thing makes no sense to me. If the country is so great and your culture is so great, why are you fighting tooth and nail not to go back and live amongst your people? It makes no sense to me. The only reason they're here is not because they love our country, it's because they like taking advantage of our country, because there are soft people, there are complicit people, and there are criminals who are allowing them to do exactly what they've been doing for a very long time. And it's not just the state residents or state legislative in Minneapolis allow this to happen. It's not just Tim Walz. It's not just Ilhan Omar. It's the federal government that is rubber stamping these loans, these NGOs, these tax dollars of our hardworking citizens, giving it to these corrupt people, so they have this cycle of being reelected over and over and over again. That's where we are. Donald Trump should absolutely prosecute. And Elmar, the reason she is coming out and saying these things, because she is afraid. She is afraid of going to prison. As someone who has been there, I can tell you, not a fun place. Don't recommend it. 0 out of 10. So I hope she enjoys herself. I think she's going.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, because if you guys, I'm sure you guys have seen, if you look at the curious connections between her and the people who are actually being arrested and potentially prosecuted for all of this, she seems to have all these curious connections to the corruption. She's like holding campaign events at the restaurant of the people who definitely did fraud. She's like running around with them. Now, I'm not going to stereotype and say all Somalians in Minnesota must know each other. So I would think she might have been in on it. I think there is a good chance. But then again, I don't know. Justin blackpills me sometimes on like all the corruption and like, oh, by the way, if you think you own investments, you don't own any of it, and the CIA is going to kill you. And so
I didn't say they're going to kill you.
Well,
now
that's just
you're
the
making
next.
it too crazy.
What's the next thing? That's the next book.
Maybe that's a good title actually. The CIA is going to kill you. I think that you're being way too optimistic.
See?
The idea that any of these politicians will ever be held to account for anything they've done is just laughable, Sarah.
Even
that
in
never
a Trump
happens.
administration, that sucks.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm still waiting for Hillary Clinton to get in jail for all this stuff. What happened to that campaign promise?
I know.
That was a campaign promise, right?
I know.
Lock her up.
Yes.
That's what they said.
And
I don't believe politicians in this country are ever going to be held to the same standard as regular people.
This is the last time that Justin's on my show. Producer, Mr. Producer, don't ever book him again. He just is a downer, man. No, I totally understand where you're coming from. I just feel like the Clinton thing, I agree with you. And I always say it was Donald Trump's, one of the things that he got so wrong. One of the greatest things that he got wrong was not following through with that, because it taught those people that they could do whatever the hell they wanted and actually try to put him in prison and or kill him. And he was all rhetoric on that. But I just feel like nobody likes Ilhan Omar. Like I think they could get away with that. I don't know. I feel like maybe they could. By the way, I would just like to let it be known that it's not just Somalian fraud that these people want to protect. It's not just Somalian fraud that these white liberal women are in the streets protesting. Remember, this is the same party who, when Elon Musk went in there with Doge and tried to root out all of this waste, fraud, and corruption, I mean, all of this taxpayer dollars that are being stolen from you and in some cases being sent to home countries. But either way, it's being stolen from you, and it doesn't have to be that way. And remember, these people ran cover for all of that too. Adam.
They absolutely did, and they continue to do it. I mean, we did get some of the Doge cuts in the big beautiful bill, but I think it was less than 1% of 1% of the total cuts of funding. And I think, it has to happen at a state level. I know my state CFO, Blaze Golia, is doing that. He's going county by county. He's found $100 million of misappropriated funds in my county alone. So I think there is a big push for people to start getting involved and start uncovering these things. And I think it's going to happen in our backyards first. So stay positive. I think we're on a good run, and I think we should keep going.
Adam's all smiles. Justin like, no, everything sucks. Justin, last word.
Yeah, no, there's no way. This has been going on forever. How about like you go back to the early 1900s and the late 1800s, and they were doing this Tammany Hall, the corruption in New York, paying people as they were Irish immigrants and stuff as they were coming off the boat. This kind of thing has been going on in the Democratic Party forever. No one and in the Republican Party to varying degrees, they never do it.
That's enough. Justin Haskins, Adam Johnson. Pick up both their books, by the way. Go check them out. It's a pleasure, you guys. Thank you.